Yeah, I mean, look, good morning. It's good to be with you guys again. President Biden's visit is mostly precipitated by two things that we know about, right? One is, as you said, the energy crisis, which is mostly the fallout from from what's happening in Ukraine right now, and then secondly that sort of regional security architecture that he's talked about building here, which is against the backdrop of stalemate in the Iran talks, which is of great concern to the people out here. So I mean, I think those are the two main things that he'll be focused on while he's out here. I think, despite what we, or not despite what we're hearing, I think that's the primary focus of what we're looking at here.
No doubt about it, and good luck to him. I mean, do you anticipate that we'll see any change on the Saudi stance on Israel at this point? Because my sources tell me that this is not something that's on the table for them.
Well, I mean, look, I think that, especially if we look back at the delays in announcing this trip, I think that the White House is very important for them, understandably, to line up all the ducks before they got out here into the region. So, I mean, they're looking at this to be a successful trip. I think to your question, I mean, that's one of three pieces, right? The first piece, as we talked about earlier now, is is that whole energy piece. Obviously, they're looking for Saudi cooperation to try and keep down energy prices, open up quotas, that kind of thing, against the backdrop there. We know. Secondly, I think Saudi is a major power broker in the region. I think they'd like some sort of, more equivocal shift, shall we call it, back into the fold of the White House and maybe double dipping a little less with the Kremlin or with China. And thirdly, as you say, also is the normalization piece with Israel, which, ties into that whole discussion of regional architecture on issues of security. Israel was brought into CENTCOM a couple of years ago, makes that kind of conversation easier. The president will be convening there with the GCC +3, so he's having that conversation as well. We all heard him in Los Angeles on Sunday talk about that one of the points of his meetings in Saudi would be talk about something that was related to national security for Israelis as well. So I don't know if we know the specifics of what's gonna come out of those meetings, but I think we're certainly seeing more movement in the direction of that conversation, maybe even coming out into the open at some point. But I think there is some sort of slow rapprochement at work. Yes.